Canada versus the Maori All Blacks at Oxford University.
Iffley Road, Oxford, England is the unlikely setting for this international rugby match between the New Zealand Maori All Blacks and Team Canada. Both of these sides have been on tour in the UK and meet in this specially arranged match in the home of the Oxford University Rugby Club, an historic venue, and it's our great pleasure to say kia ora, hi and welcome into our viewers throughout New Zealand on Sky TV, on Maori television and in Canada on Maori All Black team. It's a case of everyone available is in. Injuries have left coach Jamie Joseph with the bare minimum of 23, 8 changes from the side that beat a championship 15 in Doncaster last Saturday. The team to be captained by Tanudau Latimer. Quentin McDonald replaces recent All Black Hika Elliott at hooker, but there are 2 former All Blacks and skipper Latimer and Jason Eaton in the forward pack. Young Wellingtonian Frey Wilson is at halfback, and outside him Willie Ripier, for whom this tour offers a chance to resurrect his career after a difficult year. The Canadians have been on tour playing in a multinational series in Wales. They're without a couple of their stars, notably wing Connor Traynor and centre DTH Whanamerva, who are injured. A handful of changes from the team that beat Russia last time out. Coach Kieran Crowley has called on some of Canada's 7 stars for this match as they prepare for the tournament in Dubai next weekend. They include halfback Phil Mack, as well as 10 survivors of last year's World Cup squad in the starting 15. Jeff Hassler on the right wing, a player to watch. He's got good speed, while skipper Aaron Carpenter at number 8 is a class player. On the benches, the likes of John Moonlight, Nathan Hirayama and Sean Duke, all familiar, the followers of the IRB 7 circuit. And for the Māori, Jared Hoiata and Hika Elliott have played Test rugby. Ben Afiaki is another who's been close to the top level of international play. The positive, spirited way they played, they had success too. And out they come, led out by their skipper Aaron Carpenter, who's a very good player. Here is Team Canada. They've been playing in a tournament in Wales and they lost to Samoa 42-12, but then rebounded to beat Russia 35-3. Those matches played at Colwyn Bay, and delighted to have an opportunity for one more game against this really illustrious New Zealand Maori All Black side with such a great record against international opposition. Enthusiastic reception for both of these teams. There's the Maori All Black skipper Tanudau Latimer, who's having such a great year, skipper of this team, and of course played so well with the Chiefs. The teams will come together now for the national anthems. And now the moment I'm sure many in this fairly neutral crowd have been anticipating. The teams will just swap sides on the field, and we await the Maori All Black haka, the timotanga. Timotanga, it's their own haka. It's about the gathering of young men, the challenges they face and the goals they set, and beautifully led there by Hika Elliott and the skipper Tanadal Latimer. Elliott goes to the bench. Here's the referee for tonight's match, Martin Fox of England. He'll be assisted by two local refs, Ross Campbell and Roger Bailiff. And the Canadian team just going into a huddle of their own. And we're all set. This promises to be a very entertaining match. Two teams on tour, both with a win and a loss. So they'll see this as the defining point of their time in the UK. It'll be the Maori All Blacks to kick off through Willie Ripia.
14.
So we're all set. And this match at this historic venue at Effley Road in Oxford is underway. It'll be an early line-out throw for Quentin McDonald of the Tasman Marcos and the Crusaders. It'll be on the 10-metre mark. So chance for the New Zealand Maori All Blacks from a shortened line-out. The two locks, Romana Graham and Jason Eaton in the middle of the line-out. And they go to Eaton. Just has some difficulty clearing it away, but Bronson Murray's there to tidy it up. And Murray sets it just short of the 10. Romana Graham going in. And there it is for Frey Wilson. Now Shane Christie, who's such a good runner, a dangerous runner with ball in hand. And quickly through the hands by the Maori down towards the 22. Wilson has it. McDonald. So Canada forced to defend from the very early stages, and the referee has the arm out. Canada were up offside. Wilson, away it goes to Willie Ripia. Bateman now. So Tim Bateman playing at second 5, but they'll come all the way across to the other side. And Grant Nisbet, the Maori All Blacks, certainly signalling their intentions right from the get-go.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good start, and just about every player in the team got an opportunity to field the ball, Tony, in the first couple of minutes. There's such wonderful attacking options in this New Zealand Maori team. And you look at the likes of Renata at fullback, Baker, as we just have a look at them moving the ball. Baker, Ngatai, Bateman, Taylor, Ripia, Wilson. Fantastic attacking opportunities, but of course it all needs to be set up front. and an early opportunity here for points.
Okay, that's
So
fine. All right.
Willie Ripier will take the shot. If you're wondering, Justin Marshall will be joining us very shortly. Justin's been over in Gloucester doing an interview today with his old mate Jimmy Cowan. And a lot of the train services in this part of the country have been disrupted. You wouldn't think so looking at the conditions tonight, but the weather's been atrocious. There's a lot of flooding around, and I'm sure Justin will be with us soon. But here's Willie Ripier. Opportunity for the Maori All Blacks to take the lead. He's a very good kicker with that left boot, Willie Ripier. And it's 3-0 to the Maori All Blacks after just a couple of minutes here in Oxford. So back to halfway, and Kieran Hearn will be the man to restart for the Canadians, who haven't really had their hands on the ball yet. Kick goes deep and straight away. It's number 8, Elliot Dixon, who charges it back, and then the kick for touch. So an opportunity now for the Canadians to get their hands on the ball.
Let's work harder at the line out, okay? For the gaps. Black.
Not
Space.
the first time these teams have met. They've played against each other in Churchill Cup and had a series between these two sides in 03. Last 4 games between them, all won by the New Zealand Maori by fairly big scores. And here's Phil McKenzie. He's a big, strong fellow in the inside centre position, and he takes it up to the 22.
He doesn't have to move. Leave your feet alone. More to ground.
But the penalty is against Phil Mack, and well,
Time off.
Ray Wilson looked keen to take the
Let me
tap.
just explain this to you. More to ground. He doesn't have to move. Your player, feet on bodies. Okay? Understand? Thank you.
Feet on bodies is...
Yes, that's familiar, isn't it? We haven't heard anything on the Adam Thompson thing from London so far today yet, Tony, just to bring everybody up to date. But of course we have heard Dan Carter won't play in the test tomorrow.
Well, this kick hasn't gone into touch, so taken down by Jeff Hassler. And now it's the fullback, James Pritchard, who kicks downfield.
Inside.
Bateman is
Wait
back.
Number 1. Wait.
And dropping back for Canada, Connor Braid. They fly half. He looks for an angle. Well, they have to be careful how they kick the ball, I should say, to this New Zealand Maori team, Canada, because they're such good counter-attackers. Here's Pritchard, the man born in New South Wales, Australia. Taylor Paris. He's playing on the left wing. He's another who's made his mark in the Sevens game. Phil Mack, scragged on halfway.
No.
And taken on by
Advantage 7 offside.
the loose head prop Hubert Bidens. And that advantage going to the Canadians as Connor Braid tries to wriggle his way through. Might have caught a high tackle here. And the referee's reaching for his pocket. Well, discipline has been a problem for this Maori All Black side, and they're going to lose a man to the bin.
That's too high. Number 5. 10 minutes, please.
And it's Romana Graham. Well, the referee was playing advantage, and Canada's certainly going to get an advantage now.
He did right. He was playing advantage for offside anyway, and Romana Graham has gone too high. Let's have a look at him here, number 5. Well,
it slipped up a bit, didn't it, off the chest?
Just a wee bit.
Just there. Stay there, Paul. Thank you.
And now it's the defence of the Maori All Blacks that's going to be tested. Know all about their attack. Canadians don't have a tall line out. But Tyler Hodson is the man who's gone up a little bit untidy. In fact, they've lost this. Look like they'd lost it forward. They have.
Forward from red, scrum black.
So now we'll have a scrum, and it'll be 8 on 7. So a bit of pressure on their own ball. as Romana Graham
It's a scrum, isn't it?
takes a seat on the bench.
Bring a lock in then. Okay, thank you. Happy?
As we mentioned before, both of these teams have had injury problems, with the bare 23 available for the Maori. They've got a very strong-looking bench, Grant, it has to be said.
Yes, as you said before, last man standing. They've only got 23 fit players, and so the remaining 8 are all on the bench.
Set!
Oh, that's a pretty good scrum. Although a little knock on at the back by Elliot Dixon. Well, they hooked the ball, but they just couldn't clear it.
Just here. We don't want to scrum there again, do we?
So now it's going to be Canada ball and a good opportunity to attack. And just away on the near side, James Pritchard has come up into the line from fullback, and the man to watch is on the right wing, Jeff Hassler.
Be careful.
See Pritchard there in the foreground, or Pritchard, I should say there, and there is Jeff Hassler. He's a real speedster.
Touch! Set!
And here it is for Phil Mack. They bring Taylor Paris in from the left wing. They've got 2 good wingers, the Canadians. Now hitting it up is Ardron. On it goes to Braid. Now taken ahead by Hubert Bidens. Lost though by the skipper Aaron Carpenter.
It was just a tackle.
So just a couple of handling errors affecting the Canadians when they've got this one-man advantage in the early stages of the game.
Hand off the floor. No, hand off the floor. Next one. Had no effect there, but hand off the floor.
You could probably just hear the referee there speaking to Bronson Murray. Just warned him he had a hand on the ground at that last scrum. So defensive scrum for the Maori All Blacks.
Touch! Set!
And that's better. And that goes to Ripia. And they spread it across to Trent Renata. It's a long kick. It hasn't gone into touch. And fullback Pritchard taken on the 10-metre mark. And Maori getting there in numbers too, trying to drive over it, but it's there for Canada. Away it goes to the skipper Carpenter.
Away!
Coming for Mack. Away to Bray, the kick, it's been partially deflected away. It's a flick there by Charlie Ngatai. And Andre Taylor has it on halfway, so an opportunity here for the Maori All Blacks to spread it. McDonald breaks the first tackle, gets it away to Renata. Trent Renata down to the 22. Back in field it goes, a good hit on Kurt Baker, but now carried on by Dixon. And the Maori All Blacks swing on to attack.
Yeah, got it.
Away it goes to Latimer. The referee has the arm out. So Canada creeping up offside.
In the middle.
Ripia now, they can move the ball wide. Not a great pass, and so they'll come back for the penalty right out in front. Well, just signs there, Grant Nisbet, of the danger that the talented Maori All Black side has from any place on the ground.
Yep, they've got game breakers all over the park, and this is real bonus territory, this. When you're down to 14 players and get an opportunity to pick up 3 points, absolute bonus, and plenty of indications here and just how difficult it is going to be to handle this ball, but some lovely interplay by the New Zealand Maori All Blacks, and really this should go over, and as I said before, this is bonus territory.
So right out in front here for Willie Ripia, who was on target in the match against the Championship 15. Last game out on tour for the Maori All Blacks, game that they played in Doncaster. They won it 52-21. So chipped over by Willie Ripia, and the Maori All Blacks lead Canada by 6-0. It's a real treat to be here at this famous ground. There is a bit of a precedent. The famous 1888 New Zealand native team played a match in Oxford, a tour game, as part of a very long tour that they had. Played 107 matches on tour. This is just a 3-match tour.
107?
107. Played, took them over a year.
Travel probably took a year.
Yeah, they played at Oxford University. They actually lost that game. It was the native team, so-called, mainly made up of Maori players, and they played a thrilling brand of rugby too, just like these guys are trying to do here. It is the great tradition of Maori rugby to move the ball around. At the moment, they're doing a pretty good job. Ripia's kick has gone straight down to James Pritchard. Drops it off to Paris. A young man who made his debut in the Canadian Sevens team when he was just 18 years of age, barely 18 years of age, but good work at the breakdown by the Maori All Blacks, and he's been penalised by hanging on.
Release was good, man on his feet.
So they're weathering this storm very well.
No, he wasn't.
Managed to extend their lead since Romana Graham went to the bin, and he's only got a couple of minutes left. It's not a good sign for the Canadians. Looking for quick ball, but it's been picked off. And nice work there from Tyler Ardron, the number 6 for Canada. Mac, away it goes to Braid. Now McKenzie. But some obstruction there. Chauncey O'Toole shoving a man out of the way.
Off the ball, number 7.
Is ebbing away from them. Just have a look here, and you can see him there coming through. Bumping a man out of the way. So Ripia quite happy to step up, have another shot at goal, chew up another minute. See the steam drifting across the ground here. Chilly evening. This kick of about 43 metres. He struck it well, and that's 3 out of 3 for Willie Ripia, and the Maori All Blacks lead Canada by 9-0.
There we are, Tony. Romana Graham peeling off his tracksuit top, and he'll be back very shortly. So 6 points for the Maori All Blacks. Well,
they don't very often kick it back. The New Zealand Maori side, Shane Christie and Elliot Dixon, very good men at running the ball back. But here's our first look at Jeff Hassler. He's a big, strong fellow on the right wing, scored a couple of very good tries against the Russians. Matt looking for someone to pass it to. Hubert Biden's the proper way to the right. So he goes to Tyler Ardron. Try and set something up. It's scrappy ball though. Andrew Tiedemann is the tight head prop. Well, good swarming defence here from the Maori All Blacks. Driven Canada back to their 10-metre mark, and the Canadians just looking a little disorganised. So Connor Braid decides to put one high, and it wasn't a bad kick either, but it's bounced nicely for little Frey Wilson. Andre Taylor is after it. Well, he was in front. There wasn't a lot in it, and Willie Ripia doesn't think there was anything in it.
4 yards in front.
4 yards?
4 yards. Well, for a start, we don't do yards in New Zealand, so. But I'm very pleased to say that not only is Romana Graham back on the field, but Justin Marshall has joined us after experiencing the delights of British Rail. Justin, welcome in.
Yes, good evening, Tony. Good evening, everybody. I will never do that again, hopefully, as we see a missed touch here from Canada that should be replied with by New Zealand with interest.
Stay there, just stay there, Paul. You're on now.
Yes, it's Andre Taylor who kicks deep. Here's Hassler again. And I think they're aware of the threat that he poses. Quickly onto him. Now the Canadian forwards take it up towards halfway. The skipper leading the charge. Phil Mack digs it out. Not a great pass to Braid. Just a little flat-footed. Eventually they get it away to Paris on the far side. Here, and they do tend to be sticklers for the law, and the penalties are flowing. But Justin, it is good to have you with us. I know you've had a real battle getting here. You're catching up with your old mate Jimmy Cowan as play goes down the far side of the field, but we're very fortunate that the terrible weather's cleared away for this game, and already we're seeing the sort of exciting rugby, particularly from the Maori All Blacks, that we've come to expect. This telecast is going throughout Canada. Such a popular team, this Canadian side at the World Cup last year. Jeb Sinclair, certainly one of their more accomplished players, winning the line out. Mack goes for a little scoop down the short side, but not the space that he's used to in sevens rugby. Now Biden's, the man from Saskatoon. Braid on halfway, and he's a big fellow, Connor Braid. He makes a bit of ground. Just getting too close to the touchline on the far side, Canada, but it's still there for them. Mack, off it goes to Ardron. Elliott making the tackle, Elliott Dixon that is. And now slicing through is Connor Braid. Ball's been knocked away by one of the Maori players. Scramble over the goal line. And it's a knock on. So a narrow escape there. And the best chance of the game for the Canadians after some excellent work by Connor Braid, their fly half.
That was a great break. He's taken it to the line 2 or 3 times. This time he actually gets through, and it's just a scrambling tackle that pulls him down. And unfortunately, he lost the ball.
Let's go.
There he is, man, originally from the beautiful spot of Victoria, British Columbia, just 22 years of age.
Crouch. Touch. Set.
Dixon takes it off the back and makes good ground too. Very effective ball carrier. The Maori All Black number 8. Latimer waiting to... Has he found touch? Oh, Hassler's come across looking for some action. Here's Phil McKenzie, and he's a good runner too. Drops it off to Braid. Braid making progress up towards the 22. McKenzie, he was one of the heroes of Canada's win over Tonga in the World Cup match in Whangarei. Now the little tip kick ahead from Phil Mack, but nicely read by Willie Ripia, and calls for the mark, and the referee now has pulled a hamstring.
Oh, it's all going Oxford.
How would you know?
Don't worry. Not only did I have train problems, then I couldn't get a cab in Nisbane.
Oh no, please.
I've run the streets of Oxford, so I can tell you everything about the place.
Yes, we've with Roger Bannister, but a little bit. I'm afraid we're going to have a change of referee now. I guess one of the sideline officials. So Bit of a hold up here, but there's plenty of good support for both teams here. Ross Campbell is the man who's going to take over. So there'll be a bit of a delay here as we see the replacement referee, Ross Campbell, take up his position. And we'll go back to the free kick for the mark. Trent Renata with ball in hand. Ball hasn't gone into touch, so Hassler fires it in field. Pritchard puts it high. Ray Wilson trying to get underneath it, but a real mix-up there with Renata coming forward, and here's an opportunity for the Canadians. Tiedemann takes it on. Now Mack. Wide it goes to McKenzie. Hassler, you've got to like the way this guy goes looking for work all around the field. Now Braid. Phil Mack trying to dig it out. And here it comes. Pritchard comes up to play first receiver. Drops it off to Taylor Paris, the winger. Now Mack. Trying to wriggle through the tackle there of Ben May. This is good progress from the Canadians as the steam rises from the bodies on this chilly November night in Oxford. Pritchard staying close to the action, the fullback. Now Carpenter, a man who plays further south in England for Plymouth Albion. Arm goes out from the referee. Now Chauncey O'Toole wasn't really ready for that, but he's played a nice offload here to Tyler Ardron, and the big number 6 makes a storming run down towards the goal line. Just can't link up with Jeff Hassler. Ball still there, McKenzie has it. Well, great work there from O'Toole and Ardron, and now Canada hot on attack. Coming from Mack. Here's O'Toole. Not held in the tackle either. Frees it up for the hooker, Ryan Hamilton. Now Mack. Away it goes to Braid. Chance to get some width on the ball. Pritchard, who's living up in the line at the moment. Arm goes out again. And a bit of a tangle of bodies. Referee almost getting in the way there, but play carries on. Still advantage to Canada. And they get the penalty. Well, that was good stuff. And Tyler Ardron, the big number 6, is a player who certainly has impressed in the early stages of this game.
But it's just good pace from the blindside flanker. He got the ball off a great offload, and then he just pinned his ears back, and it looked for all money that he was going to go all the way. He nearly went on the outside of Ripier, but he managed to get him in the finish. Renata, I should say. And if that pass had gone to hand, Nisbo, I think that could have been try time.
Yeah, I think so. And they've looked a much better team when they've kept the ball in hand too, Canada. They started off the first 10 minutes or so. They kicked possession away a fair bit. But ball in hand, they've looked much better.
Well, a chance to get points on the board here. All penalties so far. I think the fans here who are now lining this ground came here in expectation of a lot of tries. So far it's all penalties, but no shortage of action. And James Pritchard caps off the excellent work of this man, Tyler Ardron. Well, he looks good. He's a big, strong fella, but he's got a good turn of speed. And Canada are on the board. 25 minutes gone here. Willie Ripier with the restart. Paris takes it. You can see the Canadians now just gaining some confidence. This time the ball goes high, coming down out of the gloom. And again, Canada's chase is good, but it's there for the Maori All Blacks. Nice work from McDonald. He's a very good ball carrier. Now Ripier moves it on. Andre Taylor bumping off the tackles. Andre Taylor slicing up the middle. Oh, this is a brilliant try for Andre Taylor. Well, Canada guilty of not making the first up tackle, and if you let him run, he will burn you.
Yeah, this is the footwork. Andre Taylor shows good strength as well, and then just the pure out pace. He does the fullback just with an inside swerve, plenty of attention, but he gets the ball down.
How many times did we see this in the Super 15 competition this year? He was playing at fullback, of course, for the Hurricanes for much of that time, but he was one of the leading try scorers in the competition with brilliant tries like that one.
I'm afraid the guilty party there was Connor Braid, who's been so good on attack, but he missed the tackle that had to be made, the first one. And once Andre Taylor gets away, he's so hard to stop. Easy conversion for Ripia, so the first try of the game. New Zealand Māori now out to 16-3, the Maori All Blacks. Quentin McDonald did well to set it up. And really, that was a tackle that had to be made. No chance for Pritchard, the fullback. Well, some obstruction ruled against Ben May, I think, getting in front of the designated ball receiver. So a chance for Canada to get some points straight back. Maybe a chance for James Pritchard to atone for, well, he missed the tackle, as I say. He had the much tougher job. Off balance, very hard to stop a player like Andre Taylor. In really good form against the Russians. And 2 out of 2 for James Pritchard for Canada against the Maori All Blacks. And it's 16-6 in Oxford. Well, I'm sure rugby followers watching this game in Canada will know just what a fine reputation this Maori All Black side has. In recent years, they've beaten England, they've beaten Ireland. 2005, they beat the touring British and Irish Lions in a fantastic match in Hamilton. They have many international scalps, and a team that carry on a very proud tradition that goes back over 100 years.
That gives you some indication just of the strength of this Maori All Black team.
Romana Graham wins the line out. Ripia running forward onto it confidently and hands it off to Christie, but some obstruction. Frustration there for Elliot Dixon, the man penalised. This man confused there. And a relieving penalty for Canada, as the Māori All Blacks really look to be getting their attack together, and that is not going to help. I don't think that's going to find touch. It hasn't. Well, eventually the ball finds its way out onto the left wing, where Andre Taylor again beats the first tackle. Wilson, back it goes to Ripia, who's got an excellent left boot and he clears nicely. scrum coach, Case Muse, former All Black, who also played for the Maori team. Taken down by the Canadians. And good work from Jeb Sinclair. Now they look to clear up a good rush defence, but the ball goes wide and scooped up here by Kieran Hearn. Rangy centre. Might be turnover possession here. You can see some real interest there from the Maori All Black forwards, and they have won the turnover. Ripia moves it wide. Romana Graham, on it goes to Bateman now. The dummy from Bateman, Tim Bateman, up towards the 22. Scrambled away by Frey Wilson. Referee's playing advantage, and now Kurt Baker has it. Really looking to lift the intensity, lift the pace of the game here, Justin.
Yeah, they certainly are. I was just wondering whether or not Aaron Carpenter there wasn't harshly done by. He made a very good tackle, got to his feet quickly. He's the one who's been penalised for not releasing. It was touch and go. But yes, the Maori All Blacks look dangerous down this flank. They look very dangerous out wide, don't they, with the wingers, Taylor, Kurt Baker, very good on their feet.
And also an indication of the versatility of Tim Bateman too, Justin. We saw him in Super Rugby for the Hurricanes playing really well at 12. Then, of course, in the ITM Cup, he moved in one to play 10 for Wellington. So he's a really versatile player.
Well, the referee ruling that Aaron Carpenter hadn't released. It's always such a fine line. Willie Ripia. Really is such an important opportunity for him. He's had a difficult year, but Jamie Joseph really giving him a career lifeline. And here he is with an opportunity to extend the lead beyond a 10-point advantage. And another beautifully struck kick. Willie Ripia raises the flags again. It's 19-6. There's Tanada Latimer, the Maori All Black captain. He's really been having an outstanding year. So Hearn getting the restart high and almost taken by Ardron coming through. It's a knock on, but really half an hour of this game.
He showed really good speed to get there, actually. When I first glanced at the man streaking down the touchline there, I thought it was one of the wingers, and it was Ardron, and he looks very good. He looks like he certainly showed that he's got some pace, as he showed there off the kickoff, nearly grabbed that, and earlier on when he made a great break.
Frey Wilson clears it away, and Baker coming in from the wing to take it first receiver. Really looking to get their wingers involved in the game. Now Christie. He's a very hard man to stop. Back it goes to Ripia. Players have had some difficulty judging the ball coming out of the gloom here, but that time better job, and Bateman kicks deep. Pritchard returns. And here's Andre Taylor. He's going to have a go, is he? Little chip kick into a bit of space too, and hacks it ahead, but into touch.
Just didn't sit up for him, Andre Taylor, towards the touchline there, and he couldn't regather.
It's a great opportunity to see these teams in action. A tour by the Maori All Blacks, but also Canada Here, one of a number of countries that have been playing in this part of the world. Just an opportunity for them to get some international action against good teams, the likes of Samoa. It's trying to smuggle it away to Kurt Baker, and into touch it goes. Hello. Now, just getting a bit willing on the far side, I think. Might have been a couple of sneaky punches thrown over there. Done. He's called out the captains. And we're just going to carry on with it, I think.
Yeah, it's always a good sign when it's just the captains that are called out, Tony. I noticed a couple of nervous guys looking sideways. One was Romana Graham. Of course, he's already had one yellow card. So he'd be pretty keen to not be called out to the referee at this juncture, I'm sure.
Well, their discipline certainly let them down in the game against Leicester, where they had two players yellow carded. Didn't help their chances at all. They were kicked off the park by young George Ford in that game. Now they've been penalised at scrum time. Well, we mentioned the Russians before. Maybe a Russian headwear there. Certainly a night for hats and gloves and scarves, that's for sure. Long kick, that's a good one from James Pritchard. And the Canadians will get a chance to attack before half-time. Well, Ardron just couldn't get up, and Maori All Blacks have been penalised. You can see there was some obstruction in the line-out. And I think Pritchard's going to have another shot at goal. Here he is. Eaton's not happy, but it looked dodgy.
Yeah, it certainly did. And it's a good break for Canada as well, because just before half-time, if they can keep the scoreboard ticking over, that certainly will help their cause. They're not that far behind and they're far from out of the game. You can see that was just a mess, to be fair.
Yeah, both teams closing the gap, but Jason Eaton with a push there. And, well, he's always got interesting facial hair, this fellow. Movember, of course. I know a number of the Canadian players with the moustaches. This fella here, he's gone the whole hog. He's got the beard. So Pritchard, and he has succeeded again, his third penalty, and that enables the Canadians to stay in touch. 10-point deficit at half-time, and at the break, the Maori All Blacks lead Canada by 19-9. Of a review into the one-match suspension that was handed out to All Black flanker Adam Thompson following the game against Scotland a fortnight ago. After a hearing today, the ruling is that the entry-level suspension has been upheld. So initially Thompson had 2 weeks reduced to 1 because of his previous good record. And that entry-level suspension has been upheld. But what they've done is they have taken away the 1 week leniency because of his good behaviour. And Justin, I find that, well, not entirely unexpected, but still bizarre. And the bottom line is that Adam Thompson, from Monday, will be free to play again.
Yeah, he will be, which is even more bizarre. If I try to think about it in the way that they've managed to piece this all together, in my mind I'm thinking they've succumbed to pressure, they've responded, but they've reacted in a way that I don't think is fair on the player. But at the end of the day, Adam Thompson doesn't lose anything from it, but it goes to show that the system is somewhat bizarre.
Well, remember that he was handed a one-match ban initially by the French judicial officer. There were some outraged tweets in the English media to which the new chief executive of the IRB, Brett Gosper, responded and said that it would be reviewed. And so I guess making the 1 week ban 2 weeks, I guess that's the IRB maybe saving a little face. But the fact is, suddenly does Adam Thompson's unblemished previous record suddenly become blemished, does it?
Yeah, I don't know how they can say that it was unblemished and now all of a sudden it is, and you're not as well behaved as we thought, so you can have another week.
Yeah, that's the bit that I'm afraid just is a little bit hard to swallow. I mean, I think a lot of us thought that maybe a 1 week ban was a bit lenient in the first place, but that was the ruling that was made. So, well, I'm sure it'll be much subject for discussion. As that barbecue over there has been doing a roaring trade. As the Canadians are the first team out onto the field in the second half. Got a bit of work to do to get back into this game. They've been getting plenty of ball and certainly plenty of territory, but at the moment their only opportunities have been at goal. Here come the Maori All Blacks, who survived 10 minutes with only 14 players on the field and have scored the only try of the game. Don't forget we've had a change of referee. Hopefully we'll be able to hear Ross Campbell in the second half after Martin Fox became the first casualty of the game. The referee pulling a hamstring. It's a good night for pulling hammies. Chilly night. You don't do your warm-ups properly. There's a change with Ben Afiaki on, and Grant Nisbet will be standing by in just a moment. We'll hear from the Maori All Blacks assistant coach. We'll just wait for them to kick off first. And let's go down to Grant Nisbet as play restarts in the second half.
Well, Darryl, pretty clinical first half. You would have been happy with that?
Yeah, not too bad. Obviously, we're a bit disappointed with the amount of errors and infringements we're giving away. We feel like we're keeping Canada in the game with just reckless penalties.
So the message to the boys at halftime?
We've got to keep our discipline, and you know, we haven't had a lot of possession in this half, so we want to hold on to the ball as much as we can.
Okay, good luck.
Cheers, man.
I guess the Canadians just look to make a bit better use of their ball. They just had a few handling errors and maybe 1 or 2 missed tackles that cost them. And now loose play, and they've got the ball away to Charlie Ngatai. Have the Māori All Blacks tiptoeing down the touchline, and in the end bumped out over the touchline, the sideline by James Pritchard. Well, he made great ground there.
He certainly did. That looked like a no-arms tackle to me, though, and I think Charlie Ngatai feels the same way. They get the breakaway. Look at the ball from Eaton, just basically places it in Charlie Ngatai's hands, and watch this tackle that comes in here. Wow, he hasn't really tried to wrap his arms, but it's not too bad, I guess.
No, it didn't look like there were arms in the tackle, but it was certainly very effective from James Pritchard and quelled a dangerous looking attack. Great offload from Jason Eaton. He's always been a very skillful lock. Well, not much else that Connor Braid can do but send the ball downfield, but Māori All Blacks will look to counter-attack, and here's one of the danger men, Kurt Baker. Away it goes to Christie. Bashes into the first tackle. Keelan Hearn stood his ground. Picked up on the bounce now by Romana Graham. And the Canadian hooker Ryan Hamilton is down. He's clutching his ribs, and now he's going to have to make a tackle. That's brave stuff from Ryan Hamilton. But here comes the other hooker, Quinton McDonald, and a lovely pass over the top to Eaton. Charging forward now is Dixon, up to the 22. There for Frey Wilson. Graham now trying to offload. Scrambled away to Ripia. The referee's picked up a little knock on in there.
That was good defence from Canada, because the Maori All Blacks certainly were throwing a lot at them. I loved the pass from Quinton McDonald just over the top. You mentioned him earlier on. He's got great skills for a hooker. He almost plays like a Lucy, doesn't he?
Well, it's a talking point in New Zealand rugby, hooker, because obviously Kevin Mialamu and Andrew Hall are veterans. They've been around for a long time. Dane Coles is playing on the current All Black tour, but if you're looking for a player for the future, then I think Quinton McDonald might be one of them. But I'm afraid the man from Capilano, British Columbia, Ryan Hamilton, is having to leave the field. He was very brave. He was hurt, and he had to get up and make the tackle. And substitution made, Grant.
Yep, Ray Barkwell is the man coming on at number 17. And I take it you guys got the change at half-time, did you? Ben Afiaki on. And so Bronson Murray is off. And Ben May goes to the loose head side of the scrum. He's very versatile, May. So May, Afiaki and McDonald in the front row now for the New Zealand Maoris.
Well, that gives the Maori All Blacks a very big front row. And went too early, scrum time. So it'll be a free kick chance for Canada to clear. So you can see Barkwell there. Well, you're not going to miss him, are you? The man there with the shaved head comes from one of the most famous, picturesque spots in the world, Niagara Falls.
Well, this can't go out to touch, so yeah, it's a good old bomb.
And it's Barkwell who leads the charge to the hooker. Bateman coming forward and taking it nicely. Such a skillful player. And the Maori All Blacks have it again through Latimer. Put on the ground just short of halfway. Wilson looking to scramble it. And away it goes to Andre Taylor, the try scorer. Now Ripia looking to find an angle, but it's gone directly to James Pritchard. Deep kick, and a good one too. Not a lot of room here for Willie Ripia. But well, they're going to take it all the way back, are they? Just outside the 22, in fact. No angle.
No, he had no angle. He hit it very well. It was a good punt, but just because of the angle, he got penalised with his distance. So a good chance for Canada there. They won that kicking duel, and a chance for them to launch their backline. Some really potent attacking wingers.
So Barkwell finds Jeb Sinclair, man in number 4 who played for the Stormers in Super Rugby towards the end of the competition this year. Aaron Carpenter, the skipper, takes it around the fringe inside the 22. So here come Team Canada. Off it goes to Ardron. This time they're up on the big man, but carried on by Hubert Bidens. Now Mack swings the pass away to Braid. And now Kieran Hearn, the big centre, cut down in the tackle. Good tackle made by Charlie Ngatai. Snapped up by Chauncey O'Toole. Good swarming defence from the Māori All Blacks though. Mack fires it away, and Andrew Tiedemann, and he plays his rugby in France. Hearn. So inside the 22, Canada. Bidens was the man who picked it up. Now they're looking to get something organised through the skipper, Carpenter. Mack swings it away to Braid. Now Hearn, straight into the tackle of
Keep
Bateman.
moving, 12. Driver, you must arrive up.
Well, he's got the Māori All Blacks for leaving their feet, I think.
He's got his comms back as well, which is nice. You can hear the referee and his decisions there. That was good from Canada. They showed some patience, worked hard towards getting the ball in the right part of the field. In the 22, they spent a lot of time in there, and we saw that in the stats at half-time. They just haven't turned those into points, but they've got a great chance of turning this into points now. What you can't see there is Bateman was the man who was on the ground, but he's got, I think, Ben May there for just basically diving in over the ball, not staying up. You watch Ben May, here he goes there, he goes in. And to be fair, it's only from the weight of Latimer coming in from behind that knocks him over, but May initially was on his feet and entitled to go for that.
Yes, you could see Bateman there protesting, but to no avail. And Pritchard chips over another one. And it's 19-12, so the gap has narrowed again. Easy one there for James Pritchard. And Canada have their 4th penalty. There is Jib Sinclair, and he played for the Stormers. Really a converted loose forward. 194, not tall for a lock. And a very versatile player. Kind of Braid looking for touch. And just looking around this ground here, Justin, it's a great sight. It's reminiscent of some provincial grounds in New Zealand, really, with the crowd just around the fence.
It's got a really nice feel to it, hasn't it? You can see them there in the background, nice and close to the action.
Dixon wins the line out. It's been knocked away by one of the Canadian players. The referee's playing advantage here. Well, there'll be lots of New Zealanders and Canadians here. There's some of them. I don't know that it's a night for cold drinks, really. Mulled wine maybe, but not the cold stuff. But of course, plenty of New Zealanders and Canadians with intelligent people. I'm sure there's plenty of them at Oxford University. But a lot of neutrals here too. Drawn by a rare opportunity in this part of the world to see an international game.
Crouch! Touch! Set!
A good shove here from Canada at scrum time. And Dixon lucky, and away comes Wilson with it. Romana Graham striding forward. Now Ripia running forward, lovely little infield ball to Andre Taylor.
Advantage penalty, no release or roll.
And another penalty advantage. See the frustration there of the halfback Frey Wilson. And here's one right out in front.
Guys, calm down. Number 12 was released, so the ball can come back.
Well, you can talk all you like about refereeing interpretations, but it's up to the players to adjust, and both sides really having difficulty doing that in this game.
Yeah, and it's affecting the game, isn't it? Because there's no fluent play from either team because of these breakdown indiscretions. Here's the hit from the scrum, and it's really well spun around by Canada there. They've got a good solid front row hit, and you can see the boots just slipping backwards. Nice shot there of, that's the pressure, the weight and the pressure for Canada coming through New Zealand, Maori.
Couple of changes, guys. Hickory Elliott is on. Jared Hoyata is on for Jason Eaton.
Well, some real impact off the bench with two. Not likely to miss from there either. So the advantage restored. It's 22-12. There is Jared Hoyata. And there is Hicka Elliott. There's a number of Maori players in the All Black team that are in Cardiff at the moment. The likes of Liam Messam, Dane Coles, Aaron Smith, Jose Gear, Piti Wipu, Tamari Ellison, Tawara Kerr Barlow. They could field a very, very powerful team if all those players were available. It's strong enough as it is, and they're leading Canada. Yellow
Wilson.
card, second of the game.
I don't think that's his fault.
In the air.
Possibly with the day I've had, I'm going to be proven wrong by the replay. He was just challenging for the ball, and it was actually a mid-ear collision. Let's have a look. He chases it very well, but
at any stage taken his eyes off the ball. The end result was spectacular and potentially dangerous, but that decision really, a referee who I think has just seen the end result and not a legitimate offence, and Ross Campbell, well, he's made a call that could change this game.
Look at something like that as you watch the player and you watch the player's eyes. Bateman's eyes were only always on the ball, and secondly, if they do have some intent to try and tackle the player in the air, they'll use their arms. He didn't use his arms. He didn't wrap them. He didn't get them on the player at all. So in no way did he try and take the player out.
James Pritchard has been very good off the tee tonight. 4 from 4. They really have to make the advantage count this time, Canada. They didn't in the first half, but that's, well, drifting short. And so there's one chance missed by Canada with the advantage. Now coming forward is Renata, just outside the 22, so he couldn't call for the mark. And Ripia has his kick partially charged. Bounces nicely though for Frey Wilson. And now scrambling it away is Kurt Baker. Pritchard back in the play. He's got Paris with him. And Paris was calling for it. Ended up taking the tackle. Biden's now. They've got an advantage out wide, but the ball hasn't been tidied up. Canada, now they've got it under control. Off it goes to Braid. Out into midfield. Hoyata makes the tackle on Sinclair. Latimer coming through, and the referee says quite entitled to do so. They've got this up off the ground. Turnover ball for the Maori All Blacks, and away comes Frey Wilson, the young halfback. Stabs the kick ahead, tearing after it now is Charlie Ngatai, and into touch.
Oh, he did extremely well, Frey Wilson, but I think he needed to just offload the ball because they had the numerical advantage on that side. He soaked up time the further he ran across field. We'll see the turnover here. Latimer comes through. From there he puts Phil Mack under all sorts of pressure. Mack tries to get the ball away, tries to sneak it away. You watch his hands here, tries to slip it back, but it slips onto the Maori side. And when Frey Wilson picks it up, you can see him there. He goes in. I think he needed to shift it.
Jeff Hassler, the winger, back it goes to Braid. And that hasn't found touch. Well, they really need situations because Māori backs will run it back at them every time. Baker gets it away to Ngatai. Slams into the tackle of Paris and bumps him off too. Wilson, Afiaki now has a charge at them. Keeping the ball up, looking for the offload. Attack the short side, they kick through. It's gone into touch.
Yeah, I think it's got a fair bit to do with conditions, Justin. It's very slippery, obviously, but you're quite right. A couple of kicks there, I think if they kept the ball in hand, they would be more of a threat.
Here's Barkwell. That was not straight.
Scrum score.
Sinclair, the man who went up for it.
And once again, guys, Canada not able to cash in on this advantage they have. Bateman's been
player. 194, he's not a big man to be playing in the second row.
Touch. Set. Stay there.
Injuries affecting both sides. Here's Baker coming in from the wing to take it at first receiver. And there it is for Wilson. Graham just holds it up. Wilson again, and the arm goes out for offside.
Number
Ball
4,
spilt,
offside.
and the penalties against
4,
Jeb Sinclair, who hasn't had a great last couple of minutes, that it has to be said, and so this is again just what Canada don't want. They've got a one-man advantage, but they're down the wrong end of the field and giving away a penalty. The All Blacks a chance to extend their lead as replacement.
Coming on as well. So Joseph, 3 changes being made, and this is absolute gold. A penalty in this situation, down to 14 players. And Canada making changes too, guys. So there's a swag of replacements here. John Moonlight will join us fairly shortly, and the huge man, Brett Bukaboom. Is that how you say it, Tony?
That's it. One, I think he's close to 2 metres. Over 113 kgs. He plays in England as well. We'll see him in a moment. He is a big man, Brett Bukaboom.
He's a monster.
Well, Ripia, chance to make it 25-12. He's been spot on tonight, Willie Ripia. And there's the man we've been talking about. Man on the left, Brett Dukaboom, plays for Plymouth Albion here in England. And John Moonlight. He's another player we've seen a lot on the Sevens circuit.
So effectively he could block out the moonlight.
Well, we've actually got some. It's nice to be able to see the moon. This part of the world, we haven't seen a lot of anything in the sky.
Haven't seen some rain.
Nothing but rain and clouds.
Here it is.
There's the other moonlight. There's Andre Taylor fielding the kickoff, and you see again the first man gets bumped off.
Inside.
And Jamison Gibson Park, who's one of the most promising young players in New Zealand, booting it downfield. Hassler, infield it goes to Pritchard, and back out it goes now to Hassler. He's been smashed to the ground by the oncoming Apiaki, and I think Tony Latimer got a piece of him as well. Bidens, a real prop, Bidens. Likes taking the ball at close quarters, metre at a time stuff.
Hey guys, easy. Sorry, gents, we have people not leaving each other on the ground. Yes, you put your head back. Keep your head back. Excuse me, Captain. Like better example, okay? Scrum red.
Yeah, real confrontation there between Jeb Sinclair and Tanarau Latimer.
There, something was going on.
Justin, I'll be very interested in your comments on Jamison Gibson Park. He looks to be a real star in the making, this young fella.
Yeah, which is a great sign, because New Zealand's halfback resources are still very good at the moment. So another bright future for the Jamison Park.
And there's a good little halfback here, but unfortunately for Canada, his pass has found Nick Crosswell. It's a penalty.
He was like a kid in a candy shop. Nick Crosswell, there's a bit more going on. He's fired up. He's well fired up. Jeb Sinclair.
Things over there.
I'm far enough away to be safe, Tony.
Oh, Canada, good on them. They're realising now that they're going to have to go in more than multiples of 3. They're going to force a line out inside the 22 and have a crack.
Well, they're all going into the line out. The whole lot of them.
Whoops.
Well, they got it too, eventually. Moonlight it was. And here it comes, charging on with it now. Pops it up. Moonlight back in the action. Back line's been restored. Matt gets it away to Ardron, the halfback.
Backs in the line out. Nobody wanted to lift. I don't think anybody wanted to jump either. Did anybody actually go up here? They're all in. No. It's an overthrow. It was supposed to go to Ardron there and went to nobody.
Well, in fact, Phil McKenzie was the man who grabbed it in the end.
Tim Bateman's back, so it's 15v15.
So a line-out win for Phil McKenzie.
First of his career, I'm sure. And a good player. McKenzie scored a terrific try at Whangarei in the World Cup. Just not that many opportunities. Christie in the back of the scrum now.
Play on.
And Gibson Park, well, this has gone high. And a challenge for the ball, and recovered by the Maori All Blacks. So good work there by Jacob Ellison. Wilson swings it away. Hoiata, Ripia thinking of moving it out, but Bateman back on the field, puts a long kick down. Here is James Pritchard stabbing it ahead into space and finding a bit of space too.
But they just competed for the ball very well. Themselves in the game. Canada dominating territory and possession. They've had all the ball. They need the points.
Full line out. And Ukaboon, the big man, comes to the front, takes it down. Drive going here. Māori haven't committed too many so far. And now Canada start to move forward. Getting a bit of support from the locals, but this has been held up. Now it goes to ground. Flung away by Mack. Taken on the 22, and good work at the breakdown again. And I think it's Christie who's getting the pats on the back, perfectly over the ball, and wins the penalty.
It was just a good read in defence. They went for the play in behind the second player there, and you watch him come in there. Christie over the ball, gets his hands on it, in fact, and he's not even releasing the ball, in fact, Paris. So, oh, how good is that?
Well, now they've got numbers here. Here's Moonlight, and he can move to this fella. Here he goes. John Moonlight, still going. Showing the speed that's made him such an excellent sevens player now. Smashing onto it as Sinclair. Canada realising that this might be their chance to get themselves back into the game, but slow ball. And I think they've turned it over. They have. Well, such good work from John Moonlight in particular, but once again, with the opportunity presenting itself, they just haven't been able to cash in.
Well, check this out, to keep it in. As he's falling, he's fly hooked it back around, and here's Moonlight burst through.
Canada work the move around the front of the line out, but trying to get the pass away there. Phil Mack.
Ryan, was there a first knock on off black, or was it just by red? Okay, knock on, guys.
And referee ruling too. There's Canadians claiming that it might have been a scrum feed.
Nice little move, that. Nice little line-out move, I think.
Well, people who followed the Sevens circuit will know all about Phil Mack. A very lively little halfback. You can see him just standing off the other side by his young opponent, Jamison Gibson Park, who's been signed by the Blues for next year's Super Rugby.
It's okay, guys. We're not got balance. We're not entering. Yeah. Seconds. Let's get in a bit quicker, please.
And you can see all the steam out there. I can promise you the temperature is dropping by the minute.
Very close to stealing one of your gloves, TJ.
Touch. Set.
A bit of a messy scrum, and eventually picked up by Crosswell. He actually knocked that on.
Out of the tunnel. Brian, I can't hear your comms. Can you come to me again? Okay, press. Foxy, we got a comms problem on this side.
And the referees having
The New Zealand players, they could see that their scrum was under all sorts of pressure. How have they got away with that? They've actually won the feed to the scrum after breaking it back with the hand in the scrum. Then Crosswell knocked. It must be we'll ball it down to comms.
Well, the Canadian scrum's got better as the game's gone on. Here's some more pressure, but the Maori have managed to get it away, and now they'll be dangerous as the ball goes wide to Andre Taylor. Gibson Park. Pops it up to Christie. And now there's a little look. Well, tried to kick. Goes now to Braid, and Braid spots a little behind him, and it's been picked up by Christie for the Maori All Blacks. So again, a handling error, just as something was starting to open up for the Canadians. Ripia moves it on. Ngatai now onto Renata up from fullback. Gibson Park, who comes from the same part of the country as the Canadian coach, Kieran Crowley. Taranaki. Now Hika Elliott. Moonlight making the tackle. And makes another one too. And Jamison Gibson Park. Canadians look like they've turned this over. They've got a penalty here. I'm sure they'll go for touch again. Canada claiming a try. Brilliant. And great speed from Taylor Paris.
Well, it was Pritchard. We'll listen to what he's asking.
Try or no try? Not on. So no try. Grounded by Black first then? Yes. Okay.
Oh.
Grounded by Black. Kicked in. No try. Taken back by Black. Scrum 5.
And the crowd don't go wild. They're not happy with that.
That's going to be interesting.
You might notice there's nobody at fullback at the moment. Trent Renata was actually quite dazed, and he was nowhere near it. And this is a very, very near thing, guys.
Brought back over by Black and then grounded before Red grounded.
Well,
Paris got there first, there's no doubt about it. It's just whether or not he got sufficient downward pressure.
I'll just have a look here.
No, he lost it.
Pritchard following up also got a hand on it, but well, in fact he missed it as well, I think. Everyone's claiming to have touched it, but here's a 5 metre scrum. I guess they've ruled it's been carried back.
Which it wasn't, but
Crouch!
they get the benefit of the doubt for some
Touch!
good innovative play.
Well, 25-12, try here for Canada. And again, they'll close it right up. And they're going to have a go from the scrum. Here's the opportunity for the captain. Just short of the line was Aaron Carpenter. The referee's playing advantage. Close to the line and over. Now I think it's the hooker getting up with it. It is. It's Ray Barkwell. Canada has scored and they're right back in it.
Yeah, they certainly are right back in it. Great reward for Canada. I think they're perhaps a little bit lucky at the back of the scrum there. Carpenter, it looked to me like the ball had come out and he managed to somehow decide to keep it in. Watch it here, it comes back. He uses his hand there. It comes out and he flicks it back in with his foot. And it looked for all money, they were going to go all the way. He goes just short. From there, Canada recycle.
16,
Well, there he is. Came on as a sub, the man from Ontario. And now taking over the kicking is Connor Braid. And he adds the extras for a breakthrough victory against them.
Yeah, loud and clear. Guys, time is off. Just the
Good
AR
strength.
Down, so time is off.
Low to the ground,
The time
over
is
he
off.
went.
The assistant referee's timed it down. Give a second.
Change. Jackson Willison, Andre Taylor, who has left the field. It is Andre Taylor. So Jackson Willison is on for the Maori All Blacks.
I now have 7.
Well, 6 points in it now. Converted try to put Canada in front. And first things first, they want to get the ball out of their own half.
Set the gap. Are you guys in? Come in, please.
It'll be a throw for Hickett. Elliott Graham. Bateman runs hard at them. See that muddy patch in the middle of the ground.
Penalty,
And the
22,
penalty advantage. Well, that's just
22.
not what they needed.
Number 22.
They've just closed the game up.
Far for referee, he's going to have a go, but I think it might be just at the top of his range and the conditions as well. You know, it's heavy conditions.
But the man who's been penalised.
He was just trying to get out of the way, was he not? And he flicked his foot up. He's
I
very
guess
clever if he managed to flick his foot up whilst not looking and knock the ball out of the halfback's hands.
Well, I guess it's just the end result that's been I don't think there was any intent, but the fact is that a player, I guess, in an offside position has dislodged the ball. That's the referee's decision. But Yama, who is another very good sevens player, with the Canadians having to call on some of their seven squad who are preparing here to go off to Dubai, where I'm sure it'll be just a wee bit warmer than it is here in Oxford. About another 25 to 30 degrees warmer at least. There's the kick at goal and under it goes.
22. It's a penalty, doesn't count.
Couldn't have hit it any flatter. He gave it a go. I think he was just outside of his range.
Players, Jacob Ellison. The team look to hang on to the ball from here, but there's some real force in these Canadian tackles now. We're into the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game. It's up for decision. Now the All Blacks have possession and Latimer makes good ground. They want to finish this tour with a positive record with a win and a loss. And this was the game I think they really both wanted to win the most. Elliott taking it forward. Canadians have it from the Maori, just hanging on to it forward. Here for Jamison, Gibson Park. And now Bateman trying to slice through. Gets it. Ball's been lost though. And now here's the chance for Jeff Hassler to bring it away for Canada. Kicks downfield. Natai had a pull up just short of the goal line. He's going to try and get away from the oncoming away from the All Black one. Can't get away from Kurt Baker, but he's at least got the ball back into the field of play. Hirayama, Phil Mack comes, well, fends off the first tackler. That is Renata, who comes at him again. Now the whistle goes, and it's going to be a scrum for the Maori All Blacks. So
to the touchline, he tried to get out of it, Paris. He did reasonably well in the finish. He was surrounded by by New Zealand Maori players, and he holds his feet really well just here. Baker sort of half gets him, he stands back up, and then he buys his time, takes a shot there and got it back. But just the pressure, eventually told they tried to run it out from here and got cut down, and now the Maori should be able to finish this game out.
Sean Duke, number 23, on for Canada, guys.
So just over a minute to play, and Maori All Black ball to the scrum. So Canada going to need another big set piece here. Their scrum's been good. It's been really good in the second half.
That's their chance, isn't it? They've got to try and turn this ball over, win a scrum penalty.
Gibson Park gets it away.
Through. Advantage, penalty, red 8.
And the referee plays advantage. Here's a chance for the Maori All Blacks to finish it off. In at the corner. Charlie Natai. And they've got the job done.
Well, they certainly have. Nice set piece. The scrum was good. As you mentioned, the Canadian scrum had been powerful. It was a better set piece. From there, Gibson Park did well to clear the ball under pressure. Watch Repier drifts across. You thought he looked like he was going to go all the way through, but he, again, this is lovely from Repier. Sums it up, just shifts it on nice and quickly. Some work to do. Picked it up on his toes. Great finish.
Emphatic finish by the Maori All Blacks. Very relieved, I'm sure, to hear the final whistle. It's been a very good second half by Canada.
Well, showing just the sort of character that they demonstrated last year at the World Cup, but I think they'll rue the fact that they have had chances, particularly with the Maori All Blacks having players in the sin bin. They just haven't really been able to cash in, and I think those two 10-minute periods, that's been the winning and losing of the game. Time, a score that doesn't really do a lot of justice to Canada's sterling effort in the second half, but in the end, 32 points to 19 scoreline. Maori All Blacks over Canada. Back late in the game from Canada, Justin.
Oh, it certainly was. Canada were very competitive. They had enough ball. They showed that they had some innovation. They tried to make their way into the New Zealand Maori huddle. Their tour is over. Hickey Elliott there, just letting them soak up the words and the win. You can see there they're very happy with that, because they did come up against a team that was determined today and dominated possession and territory and really took the game head in the sin bin and a few other things going on. New Zealand Maori were able to get through and deserved their victory.
To shake hands. As always in this game, no matter how niggly and fractious things might have got, there's always an admirable player. And New Zealand Maori, the Maori All Blacks, officially known, have picked up another international scalp. They have won so many against international teams. For those of you watching in Canada, this is the hongi, the unique Maori greeting, the pressing of noses and foreheads together. And smiles too. They came here wanting to win this game to finish with a 2-1 record on tour. Some excellent goal kicking from Willie Repier. and 2 well-taken tries. Andre Taylor and Charlie Ngatai. And here is the skipper, Tanada Latimer. And we'll get a word here with Grant Nisbet.
Well, Tanara, that was pretty damn hard, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, it was. And we just found it hard to get our game going because they got stuck into us. And yeah, that was a good old tussle out there, so it was a good game. Daryl Gibson told us at half-time you just needed to hang on to the ball, not turn it over as much. Do you think you managed that in the second half? Yeah, we did, but I think... Yeah, that's right, and made our training pictures. You got to play where you got to play, so it's all good.
And I guess playing, 20 minutes of the game with 14 players is not easy either.
No, and that's what happened in the first game as well, so what it is to play for the Maoris and be Maori.
And a quick word too about Canada, very good opponents with that.
Yes, very good opponents, and we knew they were going to be tough buggers, and they certainly were.
All right, mate, a safe trip home.
Cheers, well, the Canadians going down to their supporters who've been waving the Beaver Fever sign around down there.
Figured we had up there and had nothing to lose and felt like we played some good rugby in patches. They got a couple cheeky tries off the offloads and some quick ball here and at the end of the game, which makes the scoreline look a little more flattering to them. We were in it in the last 10 minutes, 6 points in the game, and we were pressuring them. So games turn on that kind of stuff. So
it was a game where you had to be really clinical because conditions weren't that easy.
Yeah, it was tough. I think that favored us a little bit more. But fair play to the Maori. They showed that they can come with a lot of physicality, and the breakdown was messy, especially with the conditions underfoot. So it was really the team that got there first and kept their feet in the contact that ended up with good quick ball. And unfortunately, they had a little bit more of it than we did on the day.
You must have felt with 10 minutes to go you had a real shot at winning this.
We did. That's what we said in the shed at half. We said we're in this game, and come the last 10 minutes, we're going to be in it with a shout, and we were. And unfortunately, just some good kick play with them caught us down on our end, and we couldn't really get out in the last 5 minutes. So we threw everything at them. We tried all our plays, and on the day they just didn't come off. Another day, it would have been a different scoreline. So.
Where do you think you placed after 12 months after the World Cup? Because you had a very good World Cup.
We sat together at the beginning of this tour. It's our first time together as a team, and we said we only wanted to keep raising the bar from that experience. But we dropped down a little bit after that Samoa game, and then I think we picked it up for these last two. It was kind of like that first tour back together. It takes a little while to get back in the swing of things.
Nicely summed up by two admirable skippers and Aaron Carpenter. Nice scenes here too as the fans come onto the pitch to greet the players, and the players milling around out there. I'm sure a lot of them would very like to be under a hot shower pretty soon. Well, so the final score here, the Maori All Blacks over Canada 32-19. We'll be back in a